Imagine waking up one morning to discover that almost every major country in Europe is in revolt. Kings are fleeing, barricades are rising in the streets. Students, workers, intellectuals, and even parts of the middle class are demanding freedom, democracy, and national unity. For a few extraordinary months in 1848, it looked as if the old order that had ruled Europe for centuries was about to collapse. Yet, within just 2 years, almost every revolution had failed. So, why is 1848 remembered as one of the most important years in European history? Let's find out in today's video. To understand the revolutions, we must go back to the defeat of Napoleon in 1815. Europe's monarchs met at the Congress of Vienna. Their goal was simple: restore the old monarchies, prevent another French Revolution, suppress revolutionary ideas. For over 30 years, Europe was dominated by conservative rulers led by Austrian statesman Clemens von Metternich. Political freedom was limited, newspapers were censored, secret police watched revolutionaries, voting rights barely existed. Meanwhile, the Industrial Revolution was creating crowded cities, unemployment, and poor working conditions. Then came disaster. Bad harvests in the mid 1840s caused food prices to skyrocket. Millions struggled to survive. Economic crisis became political crisis. Europe had become a powder keg waiting for a spark. That spark came in February 1848. In Paris, protests against King Louis Philippe quickly turned into revolution. Barricades filled the streets. Soldiers refused to crush the protesters. Within days, the king abdicated and fled to England. France became a republic once again. News traveled astonishingly fast. Across Europe, people realized something revolutionary was happening. If France could overthrow a king, why could the rest of the Europe not do the same? Within weeks, revolutions spread like dominoes. In Vienna, huge demonstrations forced Metternich himself to flee. The man who had spent decades crushing revolutions escaped disguised and in fear. Berlin erupted. The King of Prussia promised reforms. In Hungary, nationalist leader Lajos Kossuth demanded autonomy from the Austrian Empire. Italy witnessed uprisings against Austrian domination. German states gathered representatives in Frankfurt to discuss something Europe had never seen before: a united Germany under a constitution. Even smaller regions experienced protests. It seemed unstoppable. Across Europe, people demanded three big ideas. First, liberalism. People wanted constitutions, elected governments, and civil rights. Second, nationalism. Many believe people sharing the same language and culture deserve their own nation. Third, social justice. Workers wanted better wages, shorter hours, and improved living conditions. These different groups marched together, but they would not remain united for long. This is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Although the revolutionaries agreed on removing the old rulers, they disagreed on almost everything else. Workers wanted economic reforms. Middle class liberals worried about radical socialism. Nationalist movements often competed against one another. The Austrian Empire contained Germans, Hungarians, Czechs, Croats, Italians, and many others. Not everyone wanted the same future. Meanwhile, monarchs recovered from the initial shock. Armies regrouped, conservative forces fought back. By 1849, one revolution after another was crushed. Austria defeated Hungary. Prussia rejected the Frankfurt Parliament's offer of a united German crown. France elected Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, who later established an empire instead of protecting the republic. The revolutionary wave had ended. At first glance, 1848 seems like an epic failure. Most revolutions were defeated, kings returned, empires survived, many leaders were imprisoned or forced into exile. But history is rarely that simple. The ideas of 1848 refused to die. Within decades, Italy became united, Germany became united, constitutions became more common, voting rights gradually expanded, serfdom was abolished in parts of Europe. governments realized they could no longer ignore public opinion forever. In many ways, 1848 lost the battle but won the war of ideas. The revolutions of 1848 remind us that history is not always shaped by immediate victories. Sometimes movements fail in the short term but transform the future. For one unforgettable year, ordinary people challenged centuries of monarchy and privilege. They did not achieve everything they wanted, but they changed Europe's political future forever. 1848 became known as the springtime of nations, a season of hope, a season of revolution, and one of the most remarkable years in modern European history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which revolution in history do you think had the greatest long term impact and why is it the French Revolution? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.